the day. If you're new here, I say welcome. If you've always been here, I say thanks for the support. Guys, I do multiple live streams daily. I upload my edited breakdown, analysis, and predictions of all the big fights that are coming up so far this week. I've uploaded my Hamza Sheeraz versus Edgar Berlanga fight, along with the Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor trilogy. If you haven't watched those, go to my channel, find the playlist called Fight Predictions. You could watch those. If you're new to my live streams, I go live for about an hour. The first segment of the live stream is we try to keep it sort of aligned with specific questions, but after about the 30-minute mark, it gets a bit wild. So just get used to that. Wherever you are, check in. Let me know where you're coming from. Damn, Mar the Prince just highlighting that one of my favorite young fighters to watch was supposed to fight this weekend, and he just pulled out due to migraines. Lester Martinez, guys, if you're unaware of Lester Martinez, he's a very I call him like a dark horse of the division, and he trains with Bomac at B&B Boxing in Omaha, and that's shocking to me. Migraines. So when I hear a fighter during fight week has to pull out from migraines, you got to think that it was from sparring. You got to think maybe it was a concussion. They probably say migraines, or maybe I don't know his health history. Maybe migraines are something that he struggles with. But if it's not the case, you got to think it was from hard sparring. And if that's the case, I'd always side on the air of caution for fighters. So I'm not that mad at it. I don't know any specifics. I'm literally just finding out in real time. So Mar, if maybe you could educate me if you know any more about that, they're probably pretty lean with information. Because I know sometimes when a fighter has to pull out, we'll use Sam Goodman, for instance. It was fight week. He was getting ready for the biggest fight of his career against Naoya Inoue, and he had to pull out due to cuts, which happened the week of fight camp. And when that happens, your camp gets destroyed. People are like, what are you sparring? Julius, what's up, buddy? Yeah, so Lester pulled out. I know coaches and the team will get a lot of shit from the public if they find out that a guy gets a cut the week of a world title fight like Sam Goodman. And, still to this day, Goodman's never, we watched him fight maybe 3 months ago against Cesar Vaca, and I think he's being paired to fight Ball at 26, but, that Inoue fight falling through was huge for him. It's happened to a lot of guys. Goat, what's up, Goat, checking in? And it's one of those things, if you have a if you have a professional fight camp, if you have a professional team, if you have coaches around you that are holding you accountable, guys, at the highest level, one of the major roles of any great coach is to be able to pull the reins back on your fighter. These guys are savages, alpha, apex athletes who are going to want to go, 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 go. It's the role, ROLE, of a great coach to be like, hey, young fella, we got to fight in less than so-and-so in 6 days. Let's take a day off. Let's take a rest. And, injuries aside, you sometimes see guys coming in flat because they left it all in the training. That happens as well. You'll watch a fighter you like, have a flat performance, and then afterwards they say the adjustments they're going to have to make is in training camp. You never want to leave a fight in training camp. Koki, feeling good today. Just finished with my clients. Did 2.5 hours of boxing training at 25 mile. Koki's an animal. Great New York City going to be there. Koki, what's up, buddy? This channel, we talk about boxing, but an underlying theme is being healthy physically and mentally. It is 5:30 a.m. here Tuesday morning. I've already had one client. I have a new online client from Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out. His name is Jeremy. We do a 5 a.m. to 5:30. And we just do like a quick little, he's a former baseball player. So we do my version of yoga that I created. It's a mobility class that I implement dynamic movement patterns with sort of yin yoga principles, 2-minute stretch holds, that sort of thing. And then I have clients up until about noon. So yeah, it's a full morning for me. I got this live stream. I have an online client right after this. Then I have my girlfriend I have to coach, another client I have to edit. And then I'm doing Gary 3D Boxing's live stream at 10 a.m. my time. So guys, in 4.5 hours, if you're not following 3D Boxing, Gary, follow him. I'm going on his live to debate Berlanga versus Sheeraz. That'll be fun. You would be great in rehab physiotherapy. They could use you. Oh, appreciate you, Koki. Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, I just take everything I do. I attempt to come at it from an organized, professional approach. He said, Lester. Julius Armstrong, appreciate you supporting the channel. Thank you, brother. So, what did you say? The Pro Box. So, Pro Box released a statement about Lester. Could you repeat that? Because I'm trying to find it right now. Was this an ongoing thing? Was this a specific injury with Lester Martinez? You never want to hear. I mean, I used to date a girl who struggled with migraines, and unless you have a migraine or suffer from them, it's really hard to empathize with it. And I'm coming from my own perspective. When I was in my late 20s, you know, my mind, you're still like a savage. You're dating somebody, or maybe one of your friends, or suffering from an ailment that you can't see. It's one thing if somebody has a broken arm and you could see it, versus something internal. It's hard to empathize. ProBox CEO said he started experiencing during his last week of sparring. Seymour, what does that tell you? Last week of sparring, that's telling me that it's internal. Those are headshots. I wonder if Lester fights this month. When is Keyshawn fighting again? I wish Better Beef had an opponent since Bevo's. Koki, all these questions, right? Let's get... For Lester to pull out of a fight because of migraines, he probably got doctor's advice. He probably sought medical profession. To release that statement, that's what I'm leaning on. And then they definitely gave him a time... They probably gave him a time window, said, I probably wouldn't... If it's migraines, I probably wouldn't expect to see him fight in the next month at least. At least the next month. Because you have to worry about inflammation and swelling on the brain from a concussion, like you said. With Better Beef and Bivol, we just saw Better Beef release a statement, his team getting really annoyed about the announcement that the trilogy is going to happen in 2026. And Better Beef is accusing Bivol of aging him out. You know, I feel just being able to watch those first two fights when we saw them, we got lucky because those fights should have happened years ago. There you go, Mar. That's what I assume too. I don't think Adames. No, he does. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into Sheeraz and Berlanga. Guys, Carlos Adames does not punch harder than Berlanga. Let's clarify that. Carlos Adames, he's the champ at 60. Not, you know, a big dude. Fought at 54, fought at 47. People will talk about when you're trying to break this fight down, Sheeraz and Berlanga, the facts that we do know, neither guy has a great resume, right? So if you're going to talk trash about Berlanga's resume, you got to bring up Sheeraz's resume. And people love the Ammo Williams win, but guys, come on, Ammo Williams, look, when I have to defend a position, it kind of puts me in a situation where, you know, I kind of have to say not negative things, but I have to find holes. And Ammo Williams is not world level. Watch Ammo Williams fight. It's no shocking to anyone that Ammo Williams isn't, you know, a polished fighter, isn't technical. I don't think he's world class. He's kind of like in between domestic and world class. He has a lot of holes in his game. A lot of times when he fades, he just one punches shots that looks kind of like, you know, doesn't set things up. I think people fall in love with the nickname Ammo. I thought Ammo lost to Patrice Volney, as you know, as quiet as is kept. So that being said, I think the Ammo Williams, you know, getting the late stoppage, it's a good stoppage, but it's not a win. You say, oh, Hamza beat Ammo at 160, so that means he beats Berlanga at 68 because Berlanga hasn't beaten anybody. You could easily do deductive reasoning by saying, oh, Berlanga didn't get stopped by Canelo at 68. Sheeraz would get stopped by Canelo at 68. So whatever side of that reasoning is, I don't like doing it as my, you know, logical approach to pick one guy or another. I like Berlanga because he's the naturally bigger guy. He has the faster hands and he has more power. And in my breakdown video, I said all of those attributes aside, and there's things about Sheeraz I like really a lot. He ticks a lot of physical attributes. His height, his range. I like Sheeraz is really good at fighting off the back foot. He's really good at fighting off the front foot. But to be honest with you, he does his best work in the pocket. When he's in the pocket, he's a bit leaky with his defense. His chin kind of goes high a little bit. I think the key word in this matchup is durability. I don't trust Sheeraz's durability. I don't trust Sheeraz's power. And so all that aside, my reasoning has nothing to do with politics. I just see Edgar Berlanga being tougher than him, stronger than him, bigger than him, and faster than him. So and I think that Sheeraz has kind of been moved a little bit quicker. I think Sheeraz should have had a fight maybe in between Ammo and Adames in terms of skills. I think that was a big jump. People were talking about Sheeraz would have beaten Janibek Elimhanaleh. I think Elimhanaleh would have stopped Sheeraz. And so I'm comfortable with my pick. I like Berlanga over Sheeraz for sure. I don't see when people are trying to argue, and a lot of the hate I see on Berlanga to me online are from people getting emotional. People, a guy like Berlanga will rub a certain guy the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? And we know in boxing, people get into their emotions when they're trying to pick fights, bet on fights. That dude's a bum. That dude's a scrub. He didn't fight nobody. It's like, dude, if you're going to say all that, would you fight him? If you're going to say you don't like him, why don't you like him? You don't like, so you just think that he's not a great athlete? Tell me something specific about your logical reasoning. You know what I'm saying? But Berlanga does need to be careful on the outside. So I think if Sheeraz could keep Berlanga on the outside at the end of his punches, I think Sheeraz wins. I think Berlanga's too smart for that, though. I like Shiraz's jab. Berlanga's going to have to get through his jab. I think he's wise enough to be able to do that. I think he's tough enough to be able to do that. Once he gets past the jab, I think Berlanga's wheelhouse is going to be in the pocket. And the good thing for him is Sheeraz likes fighting in the pocket. So it also something no one's talked about. Even though Berlanga's coming off that fight against Gonzalez, who hadn't fought in a decade, when you share the ring with a guy like Canelo for 12 rounds, you take something with you, even if it's just confidence. If you take something with you, it's like a team, an NBA team who loses in the finals one year against a dynasty, and then they go back the next year and they finally get the victory. I always think about how many years Michael Jordan didn't win a playoff series until his 7th year. You know what I'm saying? So you get that rub. You get experience through losing either to great fighters or great teams. And generally, moving forward, you add a sort of element to your game. Look at Canelo when he lost to Floyd. He took something with him. I'm not saying that, Berlanga, comparing Berlanga's loss to Canelo, we're going to expect to see a career like Canelo's had post-Floyd loss. But you see it time and time again in fighting. It's an element that no one's talked about. And, I like that as well. And I like Berlanga's confidence. It's hard for me to see Sheeraz coming from the UK in New York. I don't like his body language. Even if people say he was weight trained. Who isn't weight trained? He was injured. Okay, you knew that going into the fight. Best wins, Ammo is his best win. I don't rate Ammo. I like him. I watch his fights, but I don't really rate Ammo Williams as a world class. I don't think Ammo would beat Adames. I don't think Ammo beats Elimhanaleh. I don't think there's a lot of guys that see. I don't think Ammo's in the right division. I think Ammo should be at 54. I'm going to do 52 leg parlays with live picks. You got to be more hopeful for Sheeraz to move up to a massive weight class. 68, this isn't 30, but no, 8 pounds is good. 8 pounds is significant. Ammo's a good athlete. But come on, guys. When you're watching Ammo box, he doesn't set things up. He doesn't enter. He has hands. He could crack, but he forces his offense. He doesn't really give you multiple reads. Yeah. So my point is, you're proving my point, Toxic. That's Shiraz's best win. I'm only bringing that up. What's up, DJ? I'm only bringing that up because I know that people defending Sheeraz use that as the narrative. When you're breaking down fights, I'm looking at physical, tool belts. What are they bringing in their tool belt? You think so? He'll have more power and a better chin. Time will tell. We'll see. Sheeraz, like I said, Sheeraz, if Sheeraz is smart, he's going to outbox Berlanga. Sheeraz is the better boxer. He can outbox him, but that'll require Sheeraz to stay at range, stay at distance. And we see what he likes to do. He likes a dogfight. Berlanga, Puello, distance. I like it. Moneyline, camera, distance. Let's go, Gaio. Sheeraz needs to beat Berlanga for my homie. pour some liquor out. Master P, I really miss my homies. We used to hang with my boy. Used to bang with my boy. That 90s Master P, no limit. So yeah, so that if you want to see the debate, I'm going on Gary's in about 4 hours. If you don't follow 3D boxing, do it. Ruin my dog. Who's your Toxic? Who's your guy? Berlanga beat my spot. Damn, there's a couple people. Ishmael Veriel and Golden Gloves. Damn. There's a couple boys on the stream that Berlanga beat their mates. Yeah, people. His power. People forget he could crack, and he has good hands. It's an interesting matchup. I mean, it's 50-50. The odds are 50-50 for a reason. I'm really excited to see the game plan on both guys. You could talk all the trash you want about Catterall versus Eubank, but I was live streaming the Catterall Eubank. There's a lot of in the first 2 rounds. Like I thought especially the first round was really exciting. Basically, on my point about game planning, seeing how Jack Catterall, you beat Harlem Eubank by forcing Eubank to fight off of his back foot. Catterall's game plan in that first round totally surprised Eubank. Eubank thought he was going to be the one pressuring forward, getting on his front foot. Catterall didn't let him do that, used his pressure, fought on his front foot, and we saw how sort of uncomfortable Eubank looked in those first few rounds. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but pay attention to that setup in the Berlanga-Sheeraz fight. Because when you look at Shakur and Zepeda, I don't expect any shocking game plans from either guy. You know, we expect Zepeda to be Zepeda. We expect Shakur to be Shakur. Use Zepeda's offense against him in aggression and rely on his speed, timing, and counters to sort of, pick Zepeda apart. Yeah, I don't think Plato didn't get robbed against Gary or Sandor. No, Plato, you mean Sandor. Plato won those fights. They were both close fights. I mean, Plato edged GAR mid to late rounds, and I feel Sandor, if he would have just been a little bit more active at the end of each round, he could have won that fight. Haney gonna cook. Brian Norman Jr. Brian's from the ATL. Yeah, that I'm not gonna predict that one yet. That one's a lot to think about. I still question Dev's. I just question Dev's mental. I wonder if Dev questions his durability, but I mean, he didn't get stopped. But yeah, I agree. He didn't get stopped. But Brian Norman's game forces you. Brian Norman's faster than people realize. His feet, Brian Norman's hand speed. His feet won't be as fast as Devin's because the thing Devin will get on his toes. Norman likes to stay flat-footed, right? You obviously can move faster when you're on your toes, especially laterally. I'm scared Matias walks down Playo. I mean, we've seen everything you need to know about Matias. We've seen he's a fun fighter to cheer for. Because any guy who has 100% knockout to win ratio is going to have those sort of bloodthirsty fans. You mix that with his Puerto Rican descent, and you mix that with being in New York. I remember I think it was Puerto Rican. I know you guys will correct me. I don't know if it was Puerto Rican Independence Day, but the Italian culture in New York with the Puerto Rican culture, I always talk about that Paulie Malignaggi Miguel Cotto fight. One of my favorite fights. Malignaggi was young. I think they were unifying. Paulie might have had the IBF. I'm not quite sure. I was young. I think it was 2003, 2004. That crowd at the Garden was literally cut in half with Italian flags and Puerto Rican flags. It was a fun fight. What's up, Ziggy? Appreciate you. Yeah, Ziggy, I started boxing when I was 7. So in Northeast Ohio, Youngstown, Ohio, and I'm at 43, I still box. I coach it and I spar. I train. You can look at some of my videos. I don't do it competitively. I'm a grown ass man now. I never went after it competitively, but I've been a boxing head since I was 7. Playo is PBC guy. The only other people in this card, Morrell, Scottney versus Mercado. Good question. Nah, I never wanted to be a world champion. Toxic. Baseball paid for my college, so I played football, baseball, and basketball. Hamza on points is my bet. I can see that happening. Like I said, if Hamza wins, Hamza could outbox Berlanga. We'll see if that happens though. We be chilling. I like it. You think it's Puyo get robbed? Why? This is interesting. People are coming out. Where's all this robbery talk coming from all of a sudden with Puyo and Matias, guys? Am I missing something? Because we've been on the live streams every day for about a week and a half talking about Puyo and Matias, and this morning is the first I've been hearing about robbery. And guys, you're acting like, if you've ever been to the Dominican, I used to go there every year with my buddies. We'd go to the DR. So grimy. The DR is a whole nother story, mate. But you can literally stand on the shoreline of the Dominican and see Puerto Rico. It's right there. So my point is, to think that the crowd is going to be dominantly Matias, I think there's going to be a lot of Dominicans in that crowd cheering for Puyo too. Turkey's yeah. No comment. Well, at least that's what I'm saying. The DR was wild. Dude, worst airport in the world, by the way. That airport, dude, you're literally outside with Bert. It was insane. Toxic, you brought this up before. It's a cultural, it's like Italians, you kiss on the cheek. In Arab countries, you hold hands. It's a sign of respect, mate. You guys are insane. As someone who's DR and Puerto Rico and lived in New York, San Domingo, and PR. Yeah, so Koki, will the crowd be split in half, or is it going to, I'd expect a lot of Dominicans to be there cheering for Puyo, right? It's not going to just be, oh, poor. Tell me if I'm back now. Stream is down. Let me know if it comes back before I continue. Is it up? It's this time of the morning. It's this time of the morning, mate. For some reason, the internet is suspect. I'm going to just let it simmer. I'm going to stay on. I'm frustrated because my stream's effed up. I hate when I pay for a service and I don't get the service. So the one thing that'll frustrate me is if anywhere in life, if I'm at a restaurant, if you buy a product, if you pay for a service and you don't get, and the service doesn't work properly, that's one of my biggest pet